What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 28 of Value Town. I'm your host, ChanManV, and joining me today is Mr. Trump here, who joins me each and every week. What's up, Trump?
Hello.
All right. And then our guest today is Reynad, back from Bucharest, hopefully rested by now. Now it's Thursday.
Yeah, feel a little bit better.
Yeah, cool. So we were supposed to have Tides on today, but Tides isn't able to make it yet. I mean, he might pop on like somewhere, I don't know, in the middle of the show, so we'll have to like adjust if that happens. But if not, we'll definitely try to have him on again sometime. But today we're going to be talking about starting off by talking about DreamHack Bucharest, since Reynad was there, and it was a really cool event for everybody, including myself and Trump at home, just watching. It's definitely really, really cool. And then we'll talk about the new Paladin card that was announced, and followed up by some rogue talk. So there's a lot of rogue, a lot of different kind of rogue decks going on in the metagame. So I figured it'd be good to get some rogue love in Value Town. We'll finish it off with some Q&A with you guys, of course. And I kind of started the Reddit thread really late today, so put your questions in here whenever you get a chance, and we'll try to get to them. Upvote the ones your favorite questions so that I can kind of use that as the priority list, because it's hard to go through all of them each and every show. But all right, let's start off with some DreamHack talk. And Reynad, you were obviously one of the participants there in Romania, and you got pretty far too. I thought you were gonna possibly go all the way there, and well, thankfully your team member did. Gara did actually ended up
Yeah.
taking the whole thing, which is really, really exciting. So tell me about your experience there.
Well, we we arrived and like pretty late in the night, and the guy organizing the event, Andre, and then PTZ, which was the Romanian caster, that was on the Twitch stream. Those guys took us out to have some drinks, talk about what's coming up the day after, and they were really cool guys. Hung out with them all weekend. Eventually, Saturday rolled around. I'm on like 2 hours of sleep. Gar's on like six, and we had to be awake for something like it started at about 9 a.m. and it finished at about 4 a.m.
Whoa!
Day one. Yeah.
Wow, that's
I
crazy.
mean that entire tournament was organized by like those two guys. They only had 16 computers to work with, and we were beating StarCraft in numbers. Like that's crazy. They were trying to we were trying to like finish a 128 player tournament in a day and a half, which is why it had to be like single elimination. But yeah, it was like a nice relaxed atmosphere in the like the room where they were doing the casting and all that,
Mhm.
and it was nice to play some games there in that environment and like do a bit of casting and stuff. It was pretty fun. And then like I mean, seeing Gara win is like the best thing that could have happened. Honestly, it's
Yeah,
honestly much better for the team than me winning. And I'm like really proud of how he played. So it was a pretty awesome weekend.
yeah, I think it was definitely a breaking out moment, at least for Gar, because we've talked about Gar. You've told me just great things about Gar for some time now. So getting a chance to see him kind of on the stage in front of everybody doing well is huge, huge for him, and obviously for your team too. Trump, what do you think of the event at home? I mean, because me and you were watching it from home and enjoying it there. What do you think of the whole thing? Oh, your sound is off, buddy. We can't hear you.
Thank you.
There we go.
I was really excited by just how popular the event was, and I thought it was really well produced. Like I've seen some of the. I mean, it's really difficult to get that kind of like switching overlay going with no observer mode and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know better than I, Chan man, since
Oh
you've
yes,
seen the event.
definitely know.
But yeah, it was well produced. And too bad it was single elimination. I would have liked to see more the second day, but I understood that they had to roll out quite a few other events.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool actually getting a chance to see it on the main stage, because this, like you said, Reynad, it was produced by a separate company, a separate Romanian company with these two guys. It wasn't necessarily DreamHack's production team doing the entire event, but it was really cool at least getting a chance to see the finals on the stage, and just seeing Hearthstone on the main stage of DreamHack. Hopefully we'll see the entire event on the main stage of DreamHack next time, or at least some part of it, or a bit larger part of it. But yeah, I thought it was a good time. So I had a question for you, either of you guys. So Gara, I think in the finals, right? He ended up kill commanding a was it a fire elemental? Or so okay, so he ended up kill commanding a fire elemental for three. Okay, and because when he had a Houndmaster on the board. So my question to you is was that actually a mistake or was that like crazy high level play right there?
Uh, yeah, like I said, we got to the hotel at like 4:30, and we had to be back at the event site at like
Yeah.
8:30 a.m. to play the match. Also, it was under the main stage, right under the speaker, so like you could just, it was loud, like really, really loud for the player being right under it. Because they didn't play in booths like the StarCraft players
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
Um,
So it was a
so yeah, it
mistake.
was
You're
definitely a
saying it was a
mistake,
mistake,
but
basically?
like it was pretty much the first, like I think Gar made like two mistakes the whole tournament in like a 9 round event, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Um, and that was one of them, but it ended up working out all right.
Well, I
It
mean,
was
that's why
just
I
like,
asked because it ended up working out great because he ended up drawing. Like,
yeah, yeah, Gar did it, and we were like, it was like Strife Gross, Savitz, Nimshmi, like all of us were sitting up front, like in front of the main stage. And we all watched it. And we were like, like it's a mistake. And then I'm like, hold on a minute, maybe it was on purpose. And Strife just looks at me, he's like, no, he did that way too fast for it to be on purpose. Because he just like
that's
kill
true.
commanded,
He
hero
he
powered, end turn, didn't
he
even think
did.
about it.
That's true. He did knee jerk
But
it.
yeah, no, it ended up working out fine because like Daniel, the shaman player, he was like not hero powering against any of his hunter opponents all tournament
Yeah.
to play around Unleash the Hounds. But then like he had Argent Commander and a Fire Elemental, and he decided to trade the bubble instead of the Fire Elemental.
Yep.
So it was like kind of inconsistent with playing around Unleash the Hound. So it ended up working out really well because he had two health creatures. So it was just like
Yeah. I was just curious because if it was if it wasn't a mistake, and then it was mind blowing to me because I
yeah.
would have been like, wow, that is
No,
crazy high level
anytime
play.
anyone makes a play that's like that next level, they'll
Yeah,
take a second to think about it.
that's
I
true.
think most of the time. But yeah, I wasn't
That's
sure
true.
either at first. Had to ask him.
Yeah, but anyways, that's like you said. If that was a mistake, it was one of the very, very few mistakes he made all weekend, and definitely good stuff. But yeah, excited, man. Hopefully that this DreamHack will kind of spurn some more events like these large scale events in the near future. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think DreamHack Summer is going to be massive.
Oh gosh, yeah. I think it's going to be full out DreamHack, so the production levels should be a level up. I mean, for me, the production was, it was fun. Definitely more of a home story, seat story type of event, which is cool. You guys get to go cast and that sort of thing. But I'm really curious to see what's going to happen whenever it becomes, just a full out, very, more of a kind of professional environment type of production.
Yeah,
That would be really cool to see.
I mean, I hope it kind of stays a kind of a casual environment like that
Hmm.
because I mean, Hearthstone is not StarCraft. It's meant to be more of a fun, accessible game. So
Yeah,
it's nice to have
that's a
like
good
a
point too.
relaxed atmosphere, even in the casting. I think, but
Yeah,
we'll see.
yeah. Okay, well, let's move on to some news in terms of Nox. So they announced a new card yesterday. I think really early yesterday. And let me show you the card real quick. Kind of want to get your thoughts on this card. Oops, this is not the right card. There we go. So they announced an Avenge card, which is specific to the Paladin class, and it's a secret too. So Trump, first thoughts on this new secret that they announced.
Yeah, so that's really cool. Uh, Sort of cool. So one of the things that a lot of people have been asking about is whether or not like you get to choose which minion gets +2/+2. It was
Mm-hmm.
confirmed on official Twitter that it's a random minion. So I believe it doesn't trigger if you don't have another minion. On a side note. Anyways,
That's good,
the
actually.
obvious
That's really
the
good.
obvious downside to the card is, say they kill your only minion, then you can never trigger Avenge, and they just keep killing your minions. And that's sort of the problem with Paladin. We touched on this last time Reynad was here. That one of the weaknesses of Paladin is that so many of their cards work together. Like you have the Argent Protector giving Divine Shield to a guy, but the requirement is you have a guy out, and that's tough to do sometimes. But this card is really efficient. 1 mana, +3/+2. That's really good stats, especially since it's a buff. So yeah, you
Y-
might see aggro Paladin.
Yeah.
It's obviously meant for the aggro Paladin deck, and combos of Noble Sacrifice. Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I was thinking about that too. It's kind of works well with the kind of divine favor type of deck too. Reynad, what do you think about this card?
I mean, I agree with Trump. I mean, if I think if the card has a home, it's in the aggressive Paladin deck. If you kind of compare it to Demon Fire, it's yeah, you get a little bit more stats, and yeah, it costs one less mana, but it is like you can't shoot their creatures, so it's like a lot less flexible, in my opinion, than Demon Fire. And even Demon Fire doesn't see much play. So, if it does see play, I think it'll be in the like Secret Keeper Paladin deck. It's like an aggressive Paladin deck that just plays Secret Keeper. But I mean, that was back when you could trigger secrets on your own turn, so they were a bit stronger.
Right.
We'll see though. I'm not. It might be good. I mean, it is efficient. It'll just depend on how the metagame shapes up. It is kind of interesting though. If you have two creatures, I mean, it's really tough for them to kill like both simultaneously. You know, they're not going to
Yeah.
AOE two early game creatures probably. So if they kill one, then the other one will become basically impossible to kill that turn. So I could see it being pretty strong in that situation.
It does create some cool board dynamic for your opponent. You know, making them have to really think through ordering and that sort of thing on another level. You know, versus what they probably have to do right now.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, a lot of the chat is mentioning about Harvest Golem, and I actually don't know how it will work with it. Like, if you only have Harvest Golem, if it'll trigger.
yeah, I think that's the big question right now because Harvest Column would be amazing if it was comboed with this thing. Uh, so yeah, Death Rattle is going to be a big question mark there, and hopefully one of the Blizzard folks can answer that. But in general, do you think it fixes any issues right now with Paladin? You know, maybe even Control Paladin, where it's like the early game is non-existent, and it's hard to fight off some of the early game from other classes right now.
Not even remotely. Yeah, it's not a two drop. That's what Paladin needs.
Yeah,
I got some hopes for it. I think if there are good two drops in Naxxramas, neutral cards, then perhaps Aggro Paladin has more of a chance. Oh my gosh, combo this with no, that doesn't work. It kind of works.
yeah,
Combo with Nerubian Egg. Whoa.
yeah. Well, it all depends on the whole Death Rattle thing again, right?
I mean,
Yeah, I
like
know that.
they won't kill your Nerubian Egg, so you play another guy and you play Avenge, and then the Avenge will go on your Nerubian Egg. In theory.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, okay, that'd be pretty nasty. Oh my God, what 7-6 coming from that bad boy? That would be pretty awesome. How do you compare
Yeah,
this to
not.
the Drew? Oh, go ahead, Rena.
Yeah, I don't think it really works with Death Rattle because of I know that Sylvanas never steals Death Rattle no matter what, but I'm not sure if yeah I'm not sure. We'll see. We should figure that out. Should
So
ask
wait,
Blizzard.
Sylvanas never steals Death Rattle?
Yeah, never. I used to think that it was like Sylvan, like whoever played Sylvanas first and all of that,
Hmm.
but it's no matter what situation, Sylvanas cannot steal a Harvest Golem token or a Cairn token. It's just not possible. It's like how it's
Complete
programmed.
side note, Reynad,
Yeah.
have you figured out what happens when two Sylvanas fight each other yet?
Yeah, there was like this Reddit post where some guy and his brother played like a million games to test all the death rattles, and I think it's the if it's two Sylvanas specifically, it's the first one played. I think the death rattle goes off first. So yeah, if the two fight each other, then the second one that was played ends up winning basically. I think.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. I mean, from what the devs have said, it's supposed to be the order of the Death Rattle is the order of which it was played on the board. So the first Sylvanas that was played, its Death Rattle goes off before the other.
But Sylvanas is like
Yeah,
really inconsistent with that because
yeah,
if like Cairn is played before Sylvanas, yeah, and you like if Sylvanas is at 4 health and you attack Cairn into Sylvanas, the Cairn trigger should happen and then the Sylvanas trigger should happen, but it doesn't work that way.
yeah, exactly. So how do you compare this card to the Druid one? Do you think it's kind of equal in power and that sort of thing, or do you think one is a little bit stronger than the other? For the class itself. Trump, what do you think?
I don't think that the two can be compared. Like they're completely different. You would use the Druid card is probably. I mean, if the card were to exist right now, you wouldn't see it being played because currently the metagame is Hunters and Warlock Zoo.
Yeah.
Although I think that's going to change with this season. Possibly. I can sense the shifting winds. Let's see. But
Yeah.
that's not to say that it won't be a good card. Like if the format is different, say there are more big cards. This card is one of those cards which is just going to be very specifically good in the aggro paladin deck if an aggro paladin deck works. So it's a fun card.
Mm-hmm. Reynad, any thoughts?
Yeah, pretty much
Just
agree with that.
okay, cool. All right, yeah. So really excited to see some more of the class cards. I guess they're just going to be releasing them. I don't know. Maybe it's not too far from the summer, honestly. So maybe one or two a week or something like that. I mean, there's still what 7 more class cards to release, as well as the remaining 16 cards I believe they haven't shown. So lots more to hear about before the actual release of Nox, and can't wait to see it. So you mentioned just like changing winds, Trump. In the meta. What are you seeing that kind of gives you that impression?
Well, one thing that Liquid Hearth does is they ask players about like they post this power ranking list of classes every so often,
Mm-hmm.
and I've actually ranked Hunter number 4, number 5, which I believe is really in contrast to like everyone else is just ranked at number 1.
Mm-hmm.
But I can sense that hunters are going to get hated out this season. That's all.
Okay, so hated out meaning just completely countered, I guess you could say,
Yeah,
with
pretty
the better
much.
deck.
I
Okay.
mean, the format, like a lot of people say, it's like 50% hunter, 60, 70% hunter. Depends on who you ask, depends on how people exaggerate. But there's a lot of hunter. And I'd say just hard counter hunter, and you're good this season
Yeah,
to start.
it'd definitely be
And
over
that's going to
50%.
cause the wins to change. Like
Okay.
Ben came on last week. He said, if you want to counter hunter, it can be done. And I was like, I'm not sure about that. But recent developments have made me believe it can be done.
Mm-hmm. Reynad, what you think?
I think there definitely is less hunter in the metagame like right now than there was a few days ago or a week ago, but it's not because people are hard countering the deck or anything like that. I've honestly seen more druid than anything. I think it's just because people are getting bored of playing the deck. In all
Mm-hmm.
honesty, um, we yeah, we tested for 48 hours about trying to find some deck that has a positive win rate against hunter, and honestly, there are like 3 decks that there are about 3 decks that do. They have about a 60-65% chance against it, but it's not. None of them are popular. It's like Miracle Rogue, Tempo Rogue, and sorry, third one skipped my mind. It's not Aggro Hunter. I already forgot for some reason. But yeah, there's basically like 3 decks that can do it, and the decks that are being popular right now aren't like necessarily hard counters of the Hunter. Like I'm seeing a ton of Druid, but that's a pretty good matchup for mid-range Hunter, I think. So
Yeah,
I think if
it's
you're a
pretty
Hunter
even.
player, you can be pretty happy, and if you're one of those players that hates Hunter, you can also be pretty happy because like there's just less of it for some reason. I'm not sure why. It's not. It doesn't seem like any worse or anything. I think Reckful just got Legend in a day, like yesterday.
Yeah, yeah, he definitely did. I was popping in his stream every so often just to see where he was, and yeah, he was doing pretty well. I think he was. Did he have a Snapjaw on his? He might have had a Snapjaw on
Yeah,
his
he was
deck.
playing that for. He was
Yeah.
actually like in the like Tempo Storm Skype chat thing. He was talking about that like the day after Kalento got rank 1,
Hmm.
when we were all playing the deck and stuff, trying to learn it. He was talking about Snapjaw, and I think like the reason that we didn't play it was because of Stampede and Kodo, because it
Yeah.
just kind of plays into that curve of Stampede and Kodo, and but Strife Girl likes that card too. I think he played it at Bucharest.
Yep. Yeah, he was talking about it. I think I remember leading into it, and I don't think he had shown it yet until Bucharest, but it makes sense. I mean, it's really hard as long as you can buff it. If you can get a Houndmaster on it, it's pretty like hard to remove. Not even sure what
I was
you could
trying it
easily
Druid
remove it.
yesterday.
Hmm.
Sorry. Yeah, I was trying it in Druid instead of Yeti because it has like the same stats, but it's
Yeah.
better with Sun Fury and Defender sort of against aggressive deck.
Oh, okay. Still, you're still susceptible to the Kodo though, right? Which is a little scary. Crazy value,
Yeah.
man. Kodo on that card would be great. All right, so Trump, any plans on free deck this season?
Oh no, this season I'm going to get to number 1 spot in Legend.
All right, all right. So no free deck, no messing around this season. All right, cool, cool.
I
All
think
right.
uh, I think after a while you're gonna become jaded and upset at ranked like I have become on stream. It's It's a frustrating experience.
So what do you think about this whole top? So the top 16 announcement, where I was this past season, and um, you guys didn't finish top 16, did you? I don't know what the final list was because
No, it's like so different than every other season because now people actually are playing games at high
right.
ranks.
Hmm.
Like for example, I got into Legend when there were about 80 legendary players this season, which is like pretty early in the season. And then I took it up to about rank 3. And then I just sat on it for like a week. And when I came back, I was ranked 20. Like that would never happen in an older season. You would just stay rank 3. But now people are playing, so they climbed
Yeah.
above me. I was ranked 20 and I had to play, and I dropped down to like 1200 by the time I played ranked again. And yesterday I was trying to get it to top 16 and I got it. I went from 1600 up to 30. But like it used to be that you'd only get like one rank per win when you were like rank 10 up
Hmm.
or 10 or higher. But now when you hit like 30, that's the wall. That's where like every win you get one rank if you're lucky. And that's like yeah, that's why I just didn't have the time. Like to get from 30 to rank 1 even on
Hmm.
a win streak, you would have to play for like days, I think. So yeah, it's just like it's not possible to hit top 16 in a day anymore like it used to be, which is
Yeah.
really surprising to me.
I mean, it's a good thing. I mean, Trump, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
good.
I mean, I've been just keeping my ear to the wall, so to say, like those Hearthstone back channels, and there was a lot of talk about, oh my gosh, I'm trying to hit top 16, like I'm rank 14 right now. I gotta make sure to play a game if I drop. So like a lot of people were just waiting around and making sure that they wouldn't be dethroned or whatnot. A lot of competition, and
Yeah.
that's good because it's making the top ranks of ladder right now really means something, and it's very competitive.
Yeah, it's nice to see all the top players having to, really play ladder like each and every day, especially towards the end of the season, because before people just squat, in some ways squat on a rank, and they were able to do that just because, like you said, not as many people or the top players were playing once you got to a certain level, or once you hit rank 1, you can say you were rank 1, in this season, and from a promotional standpoint, it's you're done. It's good. That's it. But now at least there's something more to play for. And the top 16, the first season is always going to be the hardest one because there's not 16 players yet, right? But every subsequent one, those 16 players can't get counted for the next season, right? So even if they were the top 16, they would take the next 17 through 32, and those would be the top 16, right, to qualify for the tournament, the regional tournament for the BlizzCon Championship. So it's going to get a little bit easier. I mean, just
I don't know
kind of
about
kind
that
of
because
easier. I mean,
at the
not
same
really.
time, there's
Yeah,
more people coming to Hearthstone with the release
yeah,
of iPad and whatnot,
that's true.
and just because there's so much competition, people might be drawn to it. So I don't know if it'll strictly get easier. And who knows? Maybe the people who got high ranks in season 1 are just gonna want to get high ranks in season 2 again, even though they can't